It's been a while. Hey everybody, Cully Sleepy here. Today, Norn and I are going to teach you how we make professional sounding vocals. First of all, Norn is going to show you guys how to do the room treatment.
Hey, my name is NAWN and I'm going to explain you the 3 steps of sound treatment. Step 1. For sound treatment, you want to make sure that there's as little background noise as possible. So tell everyone in your house that you're recording so no one disturbs you with loud noises. When you're in a normal room, there might be echo or reverb in your recordings. This won't be good for the editing. To fix this, you can use acoustic treatment like foam panels, carpets and blankets, or even record under the blanket. Step 3. Close your door. For the mic setup, you want to place your microphone right in front of you with a distance of 2 fists. Make sure to use a pop filter in between, or your recording will sound like this. Okay, I'm done.
Before we actually get into recording the vocals, I'm going to show you some examples of good beats to record to and bad beats to record to. As you can see, this beat here has a lot of room for the vocals to fit in. The drums and all the percussion peek through the actual beat itself, which helps with compression and mastering later on. It may seem a little boring to listen to on its own, but a lot of the person's attention is going to be focused on the vocals themselves, so the instrumental can't be too distracting. And as you can see, this beat here is fully compressed to 0 decibels, and there's no room for your vocals to actually fit in, and you're going to have a hard time mixing and finding space for your vocals. Now onto the performance part of the singing. I know it's kind of hard at first to do, but it's kind of embarrassing to do it at first, especially when you live with other people. But you want to record your vocals with as much confidence as you can, but no amount of editing can actually fix a bad recording. So you need to perform with confidence and just try your best. Now, if you're recording in FLStudio, I recommend you keep the metronome on and you drag up a couple of these slots and mute them so you have multiple attempts to record it throughout the entire song. What I like to do is take normally the chorus section of the song, take out some of the drums, and then loop it a whole bunch so you have a long blank area to record to. So you can change up the beat later and your singing or whatever vocals you're doing aren't too reliant on that section of the song. Alright, so now you need to test to see if your microphone is actually peaking. You need to actually test your microphone to see if it's... As you can see, the microphone here is actually peaking and it's going over 0 decibels, so it's going to be pretty hard to listen to. So an easy way to fix this is if you actually go into Windows settings, you can turn the mic down before you ever have to record anything. Now this actually sounds pretty good. You don't want your microphone too quiet and you don't want your microphone too loud. So this seems like a pretty good Goldilocks spot. Now it's time for comping. What I do is I chop up best parts of all recordings so it doesn't sound unnatural, but so you have the best part of each vocal take. It may sound weird to do now, but what I do is I chop out all of the breaths I take and I put them just to a separate track. That's because when we tune the vocal, all the breaths and the sounds sound really artifacty and they make the tuning sound really weird. So it's best to cut them out now, and then once we finish tuning, we put these back in. Alright, now we're going to pitch correct these vocals. I'm going to use NAWN because it's native to FLStudio. You can open it up just by clicking here. Now once we've got the vocals set up in NAWN, it's time to pitch these manually to the notes we want. If you haven't bought NAWN, the easiest way to bounce these out is to use Edison, which is also native to FLStudio. Here's how you do it. All I knew. Now we have our bounced out vocal and it's time to get mixing. Mixing can make or break a vocal, so it's really important to do this right. I'm going to bring this audio file to a new mixer track and then I'm going to show you guys as I add some effects onto it. The first thing I do is I bring in an equalizer to cut out all the sub-bass frequencies, as we don't need any of that in the vocal. I use Fruity Limiter here because it's pretty easy to use and I can use it just to make sure I get rid of the tops, but I also don't squash it too much. I also chop up the vocal a bit and use the new FLS21 features, boost and lower the gain of some of the vocals, just so it fits easier with the compressor. You don't want to work the compressor too much. Next I add another equalizer just to balance out the vocal a bit more. It was sounding a bit muffled, so I brought up the high end a bit and the bass was really present because I was sort of whisper singing it. Next I add an OTT and a de-esser just to balance out the vocal a bit more. OTT kind of brightens it all up and glues it together, and the de-esser gets rid of the harsh kind of sounds. Next I add some ping pong delay and some reverb just to fill out the space and make the vocal seem a bit more wide. Next, I added an auto-tune to pitch up the vocal 12 semitones to give it a sort of Porter Robins-y kind of sound.
All I knew.
As you can see, this added a lot of kind of harsh high frequencies, so I had to work the EQ and the de-esser a bit more. Finally, I worked on the vocals a bit more and got this final vocal chain, and I'm gonna play a part of the final song now. Go listen to the full song on all streaming services right now.
She was all